Real proof that Jesus actually existed.
First and foremost, there is no such thing as the existence of Jesus Christ, because if there was, where would you look? And wait a minute, if I'm looking at the perception of Jesus, isn't my perception my deception? And aren't looks deceiving? So how can you look at what Jesus is being when Jesus cannot exist in your existence that isn't even existing in what we think existence could be existing in?
His tomb where he was placed.
You can't place energy or an infinite being in a tomb, because all you're doing is putting a label of what you identify with in a burial ground that you killed yourself off into spiritually by committing suicide.
Where Jesus was born.
If Jesus or Lucifer is eternal, then that means life and death were just the costumes that we decided to put the character into, but the character cannot identify with what we feel ignorance into.
The Jordan River where he was baptized.
Jesus cannot be baptized or was never baptized in the Jordan River, because you cannot initiate what has never been uninitiated.
Where they found Noah's Ark.
First and foremost, you can't find Noah's Ark or a random act of kindness, and Zia Sudra or Noah was never on a boat. It was a blueprint for surviving the flood of consciousness.
What Jesus could have actually looked like.
Jesus has no look, and any face that you correlate to this being is just what you need to see within yourself. No one in this realm can paint infinity, so every portrait of Jesus Christ is basically your own consciousness being mirrored in what you can never fathom nor comprehend.
Golgotha where Jesus was crucified.
Infinity dies for no one. The body suffers, infinity doesn't. The crucifixion was a teaching for mortal consciousness into helping humanity transcend their illusion of death.
Jesus' real blood.
Infinity can never bleed, and the blood of Jesus being shed is literally just a story about trafficking human beings into what we are under control into and what we are asleep into, not realizing nor being able to perceive and teach into reality.
Crown of thorns.
The crown of thorns can never belong to infinity. It's basically dark symbolism for the suffering, pride, misery, humiliation, and the ego that humanity continuously carries each and every day in ignorance.
Ancient drawing of Jesus.
There is no such thing as an ancient drawing of Jesus Christ, because if you were to draw Jesus Christ, it will look exactly like this, devoid of what cannot be bared into light and what cannot be articulated into a label that has a defining of what we cannot define.
Where people try to kill Jesus.
No one in this dimension or nobody in history could ever try to kill infinity, because if you try to kill infinity or a label, all you're doing is just killing who you think you were never being, even though you're being what you were killing spiritually. Have a great and divine day, divine reflection.